Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's just after 2 o'clock here, Central Standard Time, so we are going to go ahead and get started. My name is Alan DeCarroll. I am the Chief Happiness Officer here at CWS. We are a web design, hosting, application, and marketing company located in Rochester, Minnesota. And we are going to talk today about Facebook Timeline for Business and what that means for your business with all the recent changes that are going to be happening. I'd like to thank you for joining us today. It means that, especially for you business owners out there, I know that some of this social media stuff can be a little bit frustrating. It's always changing. And we're firm believers here at CWS about lifelong learning, that you always need to keep up with things and be learning. So I thank you for taking time out of your schedule today. I see we have a good number of people joining us today from everywhere. I see there's people on the line from Wisconsin and Delaware, and as far as the UK and India, actually. So that's just amazing that you're joining us today and interested in this topic. So here's what we promise you today. In 30 minutes or less, we're going to give you a brief overview of Timeline for Business and what that change means for you. So we'll try to give you some updates, give you some information, and give you a chance to ask questions. So grab a pen and paper as you go here. If you have, take notes and then write down any questions you have. If you do have questions, there is in the webinar a place where you can go and ask questions, so feel free to ask those questions in there, and towards the end we will do a little Q&A as time allows. So what I'd like to do now is, even though I'm the face of the company, we have a lot of great staff here, and one of those persons that we have, his name is Johnny Yukis. He started out as an intern here, and he's just amazing when it comes to social media. So he has put your presentation together for you today. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to him. So here's Johnny.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Johnny Yukis, as Alan said, or as some of you may know me, Johnny the Intern. So we're actually going to get started first with a quick poll. And we want to ask you, have you switched your Facebook page to Timeline yet? It's going to take about a minute, fill it out, and then once we got everybody on there, we will show the results and see what you think. Getting close, about 70% there. Almost there. A few people will wait until the last second on here, I guess. It looks like voting's starting to slow down, so we're going to close it out, and we're actually going to share it with you. So it looks like a majority of you have switched over to the new timeline, because as you know, it's going to be automatic in just a few days here. And looks like 2% of you are waiting to the last second. A few people just want to get everything out of the old design that they can, and then once Facebook forces them to switch over, that's when they'll finally do it. So today we're going to talk about the Facebook Timeline for Business. As I said, my name is Johnny Yukis. I'm a social media strategist over here at CWS. And we've had a lot of customers asking about what does this timeline switch over, what does it mean for their own Facebook page. And so some of them have been a little bit worried, so we figured if our customers are a little bit worried, you know, there's probably more out there that are having some of the same questions. So we want to try to get your questions answered today. I want you to not worry anymore, and I want to make sure you have a good hold on this new timeline format. So if you look at the, this is the old format. This is what everyone's gotten used to. You got the profile picture on the side, and then you got the custom tab, or else the wall will be right there. So this is what we'll be switching to. This is an example of the new timeline format. This is actually the CWS timeline. And as you can see, it's quite a big change. If somebody hasn't seen the new timeline format yet, it's quite a bit different. And maybe you've gotten this message from Facebook. So if you've been holding out to change your Facebook page over, say, you know, if you haven't changed it yet, we're going to do it anyways on March 30th. So here's what we're going to go over. 3 sections and 3 areas of change for the new timeline format. So first we're going to go through the timeline format and design, what's going to change with that, the new functionality that Facebook is putting in with the timeline format, and changes to your posting strategy. So first, format and design. So you're actually able to start switching over to the new timeline format actually the beginning of this month. And some of the bigger companies have been doing some cool stuff, like Red Bull here is a good example. I think I saw Ford and a few other ones, they just jumped on it right away. And they've been able to do some really neat things. So the first thing I want to talk about is the change in custom tabs. Now when Facebook was talking about switching over to this new timeline, companies were a little bit nervous. I mean, they put in time, money, resources, effort into these custom tabs, and then they thought, oh, maybe they're just going to take away custom tabs altogether. Well, that wasn't quite the reality, but they did do some changes to it. So the biggest change with custom tabs is there's no more default tab. The default is always going to be your Facebook timeline now. So what you're going to have to do is direct people from your timeline to the custom tabs. So now, since it's not the first place that people are going to see your page, it should be used more for enhancing the Facebook experience. I mean, every page is going to have that timeline format, but if you can have something really neat that really adds value to your Facebook page, it's really going to be a benefit. And another change is the change in tab size. So it's actually been widened quite a bit from 520 pixels to 810 pixels. And I think this is a good change. It gives you a lot more area to work with. With the old format, it was kind of hard to squish everything in there, but you just had to do what you could do. But with this new format, with this wider format, it's almost like a second website, a website that lives within your Facebook page. Another big change is your cover photo. So the cover photo obviously is this big picture here, right behind your profile picture. And this is like kind of like a big, huge billboard for your Facebook page. And it really opens up the possibilities for design because it gives you so much more room. Before you just had that tiny little profile picture, and then this just goes across your whole page. Now, dimensions for this are 851 pixels by 315 pixels. So a lot of companies were thinking, oh, cool, this big new billboard, I'm going to put my hours, I'm going to put my website, I'm going to put my deals, my specials, everything on here. But you got to hold on. Facebook's definitely thought about this and kind of thought it through. And they put some restrictions on what you can have on your cover photo. First of all, you can't have prices or purchase information on your cover photo. So you can't have anything that says 40% off, click here to download. You also can't have any of your contact information on here. You can't have your web address, email, phone number, anything like that, because Facebook says that's supposed to be designated for your About area. You also can't have any references to like or share. Basically anything about the user interface of Facebook. So like, share, messaging, anything like that. You can't talk about that. You can't point it out in your cover photo. And lastly, no call to action. No, get it now, tell your friends, go tell everybody you know about this page. You can't do that. And a lot of people, when they first heard this, they think, well, that's kind of stupid. I mean, why would they give me all this room and then just tell me everything I can't do with it? But if you think about it, it's actually a pretty good idea. It helps reduce the clutter and it makes it not so salesy on a Facebook page. Because Facebook is more about providing value to your fans. Remember, it's not really about your company. It's about the value you can provide to your fans. And you shouldn't just be trying to sell them all the time. So obviously, you want the people to like and share your page. And how do you do this without overtly obvious calls to action and arrows and all that stuff? Well, the answer is a well-designed cover page. So I like to show the Live Strong cover page as a great example, because if you look here, it nicely directs you to the like area, the messages, but also drives your eye down to the custom tab section. So everything that you want them to go to, it draws them to it without saying, make sure to go and like our page and click on our custom tabs. Next change is the profile picture. With this big, huge cover photo, they've shrunken down the size that you can have for your profile picture to a square. So right here, the new size for this is you upload it by 180 pixels by 180 pixels, but it'll display at 125 by 125 pixels. So it's still a square that shows up in your post, shows up in the newsfeed, shows up on your timeline. And there have been some companies that have been doing something really cool. They have their profile picture and their cover photo work together. So as you see here with Santa, their profile picture can work alone by itself. It still has its logo right in the profile picture, but also it looks really nice with the cover photo. So if you look just below the cover photo, you see the new tab icon and about area. So with the old tab icons, if you remember, they're just on the left side there. They're tiny little icons, and they can get easily lost. With the new tab area, it's right below the like button, right below the cover photo, and they're bigger and much more prominent. The new size for this is 111 pixels by 74 pixels, and you can actually upload this graphic to your tab icon. Now you can have 4 displayed all the time. Photos will always be the first one, but you're allowed to have up to 12. And everything on here, even this like box, everything on here can be moved around. The only thing that can't be moved is the photo section. Now, to the left of the tab icons is the About section. Depending on how you set up your page, that will determine what's going to be in your About section. So if you set up your page as a local business, what you'll have in here is your subcategories, such as for our page, our subcategories are web design, programming, social media. And we'll have address, phone number, and times that you're open. Now, if you're set up as a brand or a company, this will show your About section. So in the back end, when you write up your About, this will show up right here. So I'm going to do one more quick poll here. Now that we've kind of gone through some of the new things, I want to get an idea, how do you feel about the new timeline? So we're going to put that on real quick. Again, we'll take about a minute or so, or when it looks like nobody's going to be clicking in anymore. It's about 79% now. All right, I think we're going to close it up real quick, and then we're going to share it. So it seems like a majority do like it, and some people really love it. And I guess it's kind of to be expected. Some people don't really like it. Some people absolutely hate it. And you know, that's kind of understandable. Facebook's changed things on us more than once, and some people, they just go along with it and go with the change, and eventually they get used to it, but sometimes they just say, forget it. But it looks like a lot of people do like it, so that's good for you, because you know that maybe your customers like it also. I'm going to hide that now and get back to it. So we're going to look at the new functionality. So there's some new and cool things that Facebook has put in that kind of changes the functionality of how your page works. So we still have like the like button, but some of the new things that they've added. The change to the admin panel. So actually it's an addition. It added an admin panel. So when your fan comes to your Facebook page, this is what they see, except for this admin panel button here. So when you are an admin, you'll see this admin panel button. You click that, and it shoots your timeline down and shows you this quick shot of how your timeline's doing. So we have notifications, new likes, insights, and if you have any messages, it will tell you right here. So another new cool thing is the messages and interest list. And that's right with the like button, and messages are right next to it. So with the messages, say you're a big company and your customers have a lot of questions for you. Well, you don't want that filling up your wall and taking up all the space where you're going to be posting your own message. So what they're thinking is to clean up the wall, they allow fans to privately message your page. And this can be used for smaller companies also. If a customer wants to ask a private question, they can do so. But basically, it's all about cleaning up the wall there. So when a fan does message you, it gives your page the ability to message the fan back. Now, a few companies might think, well, why don't I just start telling about my specials and deals and everything? But you want to hold off on that. They simply message you for a question. They don't want to be spammed after you do this. So make sure to keep it conversational and don't be salesy. Another new addition is the interest list. So when this first came out, I thought this was pretty cool. I thought this would be really neat for Facebook pages, but it all kind of hinges on if fans actually use it. So when you click on the like button, and even when you hover over it after you've liked the page, it comes up with this message here. You can add a page to an interest list. So if you think about your news feed, on the left-hand side for your friends, you have a close friends, you have family, maybe a few other lists. So if you missed what they said naturally in the news feed, organically, you can go back and see what they wrote throughout the day. So if they posted at 8 in the morning and you didn't check until 8 at night, you can still go and see what they said. This is the same idea with brand pages. If a fan adds you to an interest list, then they can see your message no matter when they check it throughout the day. So if they miss it organically, they'll still be able to see it. And name change. So this isn't specific to Timeline, but I think it's a good addition because it came out around the same time. So say you started your Facebook page and you had an intern or your niece or somebody set it up that just really didn't care. And they spelt the name wrong. And in the past, when you got past 100 likes, if you didn't notice that that name was spelled wrong, you're out of luck. You have to delete your page and start all over, lose all of your likes. But now what you can do is submit a name change request to Facebook. And we've actually posted the link to this on our on the CWS Facebook page today. So if you're looking to change the name of your Facebook page, you can put in a request. And it's not just for misspellings. If, say, your company has changed its name and you want to change your Facebook page also, you can put in a request and you can get that changed up. Next, I want to talk about the posting strategy. Now, the posting strategy, not many people realize it, but posting strategy is probably the most important part of your Facebook marketing strategy. Because a lot of times, people will see your message in the news feed and that home page. They won't necessarily go out to your page every single day. They might go there every once in a while, but they're not going to go there every day to see what you've been doing, see what you've been saying. So with the new format, Facebook has changed a few things, but there's still a lot of the old favorites. And with the new strategy, it's all about highlighting what's important to you. So one of the new changes is milestones and history. So with a milestone, you can go back in your company history on your Facebook page and fill in some of your big events, so like when you were founded, when you got awards, and different things like that. If you change the look of your company. So something cool, Coca-Cola was actually able to go back to 1886 to fill in the founding of their company. And I've even seen it where you can go to the 1776 and maybe even a little bit further for your company and fill in your history. And if you look on the side here, you can fill in all the different events that have gone throughout your company history also. Another thing for showing off what's important to your company is highlights. So say you have a post, and this is again from Coca-Cola, and they want to make sure if somebody's browsing through their timeline, they want to make sure that people will see this. So what they can do is click highlights, and when you scroll over the post, this will show up in the top right corner, and you can click highlight. So what this does is this blows this up to the width of your timeline. And again, it makes it really big and prominent so you make sure it gets seen. Another thing you can do is pin a post. When you pin a post, again, it's the top right corner of the post. What it will do is it will keep it at the top of your timeline for up to 7 days. Now, after that 7 days, you won't be able to repin it. But say you have something like a contest or an important event that you want to make sure people see, you can keep it right at the top. Another cool thing that it does when you pin a post is that it puts this little flag on here. So it's just another way that draws a little bit more attention to it. And with the timeline format, you really need to think about how your posts are going to look in the newsfeed as well as your timeline. So the way to kind of give it a little bit more, jazz it up just a little bit more, is to add photos, videos, and links. If you have just a text post, it's easy to get lost. But when you add a photo, video, or link, it takes up a little bit more room and makes it a little bit more prominent. So this is how it looks in the newsfeed. And that's the webinar you are at currently. And then if you look at how it looks in a timeline, so this is Coca-Cola again, it makes those pictures nice and big, really prominent. So it looks really nice. And again, with the timeline, everything just kind of blew up on it. So it makes important things really big and make sure you don't miss it. So that is all I have for today. If you have any questions, we hope to get them answered for you.
Awesome, Johnny. Thank you. So as you can tell, there's lots of changes that have taken place or are going to take place here. And obviously it can be frustrating. It takes some time to get used to. But in the end, I think we will feel that these changes will be good for business. We get bigger custom pages that we can do. The messaging feature sounds kind of interesting, and we'll have some historical data about companies. So in the end, we think that'll be good changes. So a couple questions coming in here. We have a little bit of time left. Tina asks, how will Facebook police the cover photo content? So you mentioned that certain content is not allowed. How are they going to police who people do that or not do that?
Well, things at Facebook, I mean, they put out these rules and they just expect people to abide by them. And when you have a big company and you have lots of followers, if they aren't following the rules, they're going to get caught pretty easily. Now, if you're a smaller company, Facebook might not necessarily notice that you're breaking the rules. Now, that's not a reason to do it because Facebook does still go out and check pages. And if you are caught breaking the rules, you can actually get your page shut down. So you'll have to either start completely over, or they may not even let you start over.
Good advice. So another question here. Chris asks, how does this, if you've already had a custom page that you had created, what's going to happen to it, or how's it going to change on March 30th?
So what will happen, and we actually have seen this with pages already, they'll still be there. Some things that you might need to do is change the size of it so it'll look more comfortable in that new wider format.
Another thing you might have to do is add the graphic for the tab icon. If you don't have that graphic, it'll just do the default icon for it. But you know, the old format custom tabs really don't look all too bad in the new format. But if you want it to look just completely snug, just perfect in the new format, you might need to widen it out a little bit.
Okay. Good advice. All right, another one we have here, Joe says, what is the best way to get people to comment on your posts and interact with you?
The best way to get people to comment on your posts, well, there's a few ways. I guess a few different ways you could do it is things like asking a question, do a fill in the blank, make it so you can get those knee-jerk reactions. Again, adding things like videos, links, and pictures is just so it's more than just the text. You need to be able to catch people's eyes, and if it's just text, it's easy to just scroll over that and not pay attention at all.
Sure. Okay, we'll do one more here. We just got a little bit of time left. So somebody asked, can you put a call to action or any sales type things in your profile photo? I know you said you can't put it in your cover photo, but can you put it in your profile photo and get away with doing that?
I have researched around in this, and I've kind of checked it out. I've not seen anything that says you can't put in your profile picture, but if you think about it, it's a tiny area. So you probably don't want to get that muddled up with call to action, all that. Another area you can have call to action until Facebook changes the rules on us again is your tab icons. You can have something that says click here or something like that. It's just mainly focused. These rules are mainly focused on the cover photo because that's the most prominent picture in there, and they don't want to get that all salesy and muddled up with sales information.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We are out of time. We promised we would only take a half hour of your time today, so we are going to go ahead and end the webinar, but we would like, if you have any questions that weren't answered today or you have more, feel free to post them on our wall out at Facebook, facebook.com/cws.mn. We'd be happy to take some time yet this afternoon and try to answer those for you. And as always, we will probably, you will receive a survey after this webinar. And one of those questions is, what topics would you like us to cover and talk about in the future? So feel free to give us a topic if you're interested in Pinterest or any of those other new and interesting things that are happening out there. Feel free to let us know what topics you'd like us to talk about. And then follow us on Facebook or keep tabs on cws.net/webinars for the upcoming April webinar. So once again, thank you for spending your afternoon with us today. Hope you learned a lot, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.